loves, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new. Today's video is going to be another pregnancy update for you guys. Now typically up to this point I have been doing pregnancy updates every 2 weeks. However, this past month has honestly been a struggle for me and I've had a really hard time sitting down and filming for you guys. So this pregnancy update will be a little bit different in that it will cover this entire last month of pregnancy. So from weeks 29 through 32, these past 4 weeks. I will try to keep it short and sweet, but I also want to make sure that I'm giving you all of the information so that if you are going through this point in your pregnancy as well, you kind of can get a feel for what my experience has been like. Now, if you are new here, my name is Jess and this is currently my second baby. I have a 16-month-old baby girl and I did have a miscarriage before her, so this is actually my third pregnancy. This pregnancy has been pretty much a struggle for this past month, like I said. And my little one before this, her pregnancy was so easy, you guys. It was such a breeze. So I figured, that this one would be as well. And it has been for the most part up to this point, but I definitely have been experiencing more symptoms recently. And it could be due to the fact that I have a toddler running around now and it is very taxing on me physically. So that is definitely a big difference between my last pregnancy with her and this pregnancy. Before, I wasn't chasing a toddler around. I could sleep whenever I wanted to, I could rest, I could put my feet up, and that is not the case this time. So my body has definitely been, just more tired, more achy, and I think that that has to do with, trying to keep her entertained and playing with her, picking her up throughout the day, getting down on the floor and playing with her throughout the day. And so all of those things together, just kind of put more pressure and strain on my belly area in particular, but also just all over my body. So my lower back, my ankles, just everything. So I'm going to dive into my symptoms, my cravings, and just kind of everything that has happened over these past 4 weeks. Like I said, if you're new here, my name is Jess, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I do all different types of videos on motherhood and lifestyle, as well as things around the home, so things like cooking, cleaning, and decluttering. And I am finally feeling a little bit better, so I will be back on my normal schedule here soon. But I would love to have you join the family and be a part of this community here. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and don't forget to turn on your notification bell as well. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. So let's go ahead and dive right on in to this pregnancy update. So I am currently 32 weeks pregnant. I am on the last day of week 32, so tomorrow I will be 33 weeks pregnant. Up until this point, it hasn't really hit me, that baby's gonna be here so soon. Guys, he's gonna be here soon. So, oh my goodness, it's really starting to hit me now because 33 weeks, I had my other little one at 39. So that means if he comes at the same time that she did, we have 6 weeks to go, which is like nothing. Anyway, I cannot believe I am almost already 33 weeks along, but I wanted to share a little bit from my pregnancy journal. I will link this down below for you guys, and I'm just gonna quickly kind of run through each week from weeks 29 through 32. So during week 29, I actually started taking an iron supplement. I forgot to mention this in my last update after I had my doctor's appointment during week 28, but my doctor actually prescribed me some additional iron so that I could take that with my prenatal vitamin to make sure that I was getting enough. She said that I was very slightly anemic actually. So that is very common in pregnancy overall, but especially common in second pregnancies or subsequent pregnancies that are really close together, I guess. And so she said my levels were like very slightly off, like almost nothing, where she wasn't even gonna prescribe anything, but she went ahead and prescribed me some iron so that hopefully that would maybe help me feel less fatigued and just kind of bring me up to speed with that, which kind of makes sense because in my last update, I also shared that I had been craving ice chips a lot. Well, apparently I didn't know this, but I did look it up because one of you guys actually had mentioned something about this. If you are craving ice chips in your pregnancy, a lot of times it's because it's due to a lack of iron. So I found that really interesting because once I started taking that iron, I no longer craved ice chips either. I still have them occasionally just because it is so hot. We live in Florida and my little one loves to play outside during the day. Sometimes I'll have some ice chips just to kind of help cool me off, but not because I was craving them like I was before. So by the way, my sweet girl is actually waking up from her nap now. I was trying to get this video done before she woke up, but it is what it is. So I may have to bring her in here in just a moment. I'm gonna give her a minute to see if she'll lay back down. but because she actually hasn't been sleeping that long. Oh, well, kind of. Actually, she's been sleeping about an hour, which normally she's been sleeping up to like 2.5 hours. So we'll see. I'll give her a moment and see. But during week 29, I also had a lot of symptoms that started to show up. So my headaches had still been there. I started to get that cervix pain, which it feels like a stabbing pain, like someone is like stabbing up there. I know, if you have been pregnant, you know that pain. It has a term associated with it, but I don't want to say it in the video just because I don't want it to get flagged for anything. But anyway, I have been having that pain a lot recently, and it started in week 29. And then I also rescheduled my maternity pictures. Originally, I was going to have them done at 31, almost 32 weeks, so I would have had them done last Sunday. But my belly seemed small, and then all of a sudden, like during week 29, it seemed smaller, and I was afraid that it wasn't going to be kind of round enough, you know, before my maternity pictures. And I also decided on wearing a different dress, so I wanted to order that, and it wouldn't have been here in time. So I went ahead and rescheduled those, so I will have those here in about a week and a half. And then during week 30, oh good, she's laying back down. So during week 30, I still had that cervix pain, like I said, and then the exhaustion really hit. So I would have been putting out an update for you guys during week 30, but I was so tired, you guys. I had that really heavy feeling down low, and I mean, I could hardly go on family walks. We like to go on family walks in the evenings, and we had just purchased a Bob double stroller to kind of test it out. It's a jogging stroller that I was like so excited about because they just came back in stock on Amazon. I will link below the one that we have, the one that we purchased. It's so nice. And so we were kind of testing it out, going on these family walks, and oh my gosh, you guys, like the stroller itself is amazing, but that pain, that heavy feeling down below, I was like, ooh, I don't know, I can hardly walk down the street. So that was just a lot. This particular week was also super busy for me. My husband was trying to figure out stuff with his job because, as you guys know, we were supposed to be moving, and then they said, you're not moving until September or October, which would mean this baby would be about a month old. And so we were like trying to figure everything out because there were so many changes with that. And then I've just been grinding on my new business like crazy, which has been such a blast. So I have been going to bed later, but then I also haven't been sleeping very well because I feel him kicking all night. I have to get up and use the bathroom like every hour at least. And so it's just been really exhausting. Like I mentioned, I have a 1-year-old, so I can't really just sit around too much throughout the day. You know, she is good about playing on her own, but I want to make sure that she is still getting those interactions with me as well. So it's just been kind of a balancing act, but because of that, I have been very tired as well, which is kind of why I had to take a step back, and I just wasn't having any energy to film videos. I rarely even put on a bra or put makeup on these days. So I usually get up and shower and brush my teeth and make sure, you know, that I'm feeling good, but then I put on, you know, some clean PJs or lounge pants or something cozy and comfy to wear around the house. And that's just what we do unless we have to go somewhere. So that is pretty much how it's been, which is why I haven't been very motivated to film as well. But that was week 30, no cravings. And for these next couple of weeks, no cravings either. Just, you know, regular foods that I would normally eat. And I still have, you know, like my little things here and there, like I wanted jalapeno poppers the other night, or like salt and vinegar chips, but it's not a craving. It's just like, ooh, that sounds kind of good. And I'm pregnant, so. But we do eat pretty healthy, but every once in a while I'll try to, you know, have a little fun snack like that. And then during week 31, my husband's work schedule actually started to change a little bit, so he was able to be home for a couple of days. And then with the 4th of July holiday weekend, he was home for a couple of days. So during that time, I got to really catch up on sleep. I slept in a little bit. I took naps when my sweet girl went down for a nap or when he was here. So that was a really great time for me to just kind of catch up on things, both work, both on just personal things that we were trying to take care of here at home, and just on my rest, because I feel like, you know, it's just been go, and the heavier that I'm getting, the farther along in this pregnancy that I'm getting with my husband working, it has just been hard. So that was really helpful, and he is so amazing. He just is like, yeah, just go lay down, just go take a nap, you know, and so that has been really nice. And then since then, I've been trying to nap when she naps, except for, you know, when I have to do things like film a video. So I'm trying to catch up on things now, but I am feeling better because I have gotten that rest now. During week 31, I also started noticing that I had been leaking a lot more as well. So it seems like every week I am leaking a little bit more and more. So that is something that has persisted. I don't think I've actually mentioned it in any of my updates because it hasn't been that much, I guess. But I think I talked about when I had some colostrum there. But I have definitely been starting to leak a little bit, which is a good sign. And then during week 32, I actually had another doctor's appointment. So this past Tuesday, I had a doctor's appointment, and I will have a doctor's appointment every single week leading up to the end of this pregnancy because, and an ultrasound actually with those appointments, because of my thyroid. So as you guys know, if you've been here for a little bit, I have been taking thyroid medication, and my doctor said that because of that, they want to just make sure to monitor the placenta in particular, because I guess it can have an effect on that. And the placenta, you know, they want to make sure that it's functioning properly so that baby is growing properly as well. So she said that I have to have an ultrasound every single week from weeks 32 until I'm done with this pregnancy. So we went ahead and scheduled out all of my appointments. And it is interesting because with my sweet girl's pregnancy, I didn't have to do that, but I also didn't have my thyroid levels checked. The only reason that I had them checked this time around was because I was having so many issues with my milk supply with her. And one of the lactation consultants said, hey, you know, this might be hormonal. You should probably go ahead and get your thyroid levels checked. And sure enough, they came back as hypothyroidism. So it is very likely that I could have had it with her and just didn't know about it. It would make sense if I did because I was feeling very lethargic a lot of the time. You know, it's hard to kind of figure out, is that just pregnancy or is that something else? And so I very well might have had it with her as well. But luckily mine is such a mild case, I guess, or mine's just so mild that I'm not really worried about it, and it's just really common, especially during pregnancy, but it is something that my doctor just wants to monitor. So at this appointment, we also found out that he is weighing in at about 4 pounds, 11 ounces, so that is about the 70th percentile, and I believe that is around where my sweet girl was. I want to say she was closer to the 90th, earlier on in the pregnancy, and then she kind of dropped down a little bit as we got further into the pregnancy, I think, but he may be a little bit smaller. I'm not sure. I don't quite remember off the top of my head, but 4 pounds, 11 ounces. And the exciting thing about this week, which I mean, for me, it's super exciting, is we actually found out, let's see, probably 3 days ago that we are not moving, at least for another year. So I get questions about us moving all the time because you guys know that we were supposed to be moving to North Carolina back in May before all of this stuff started happening in our world and everything was just going as normal. That was the plan. We were going to move beginning to middle of May to North Carolina, and that's just what the plan was. We had started taking things down off of the walls to take pictures of the house. So if you see in some of my videos that my house is like super bare, that's why, because I started taking things down to like take pictures and just make it look very clean and simple. But then right around the time when we were supposed to be moving, they said, actually no, because of everything happening right now, we have to push it back to September to October timeframe, which means that this little man right here would be about a month or so old when we would be moving to North Carolina still. So up until this point, that's kind of what we were planning on. However, there had been a couple of things, which I'm not going to go into detail just because my husband's job is something that we don't really share a whole lot about here on my channel. But recently there were some things that were coming up that kind of made us feel like, I don't know if this is actually going to be happening as soon as we think it is. And so I was kind of anticipating that. I was kind of anticipating that change. And sure enough, we found out a few days ago that we will not be moving until we honestly don't have a date. So they said to plan on us being here around another year or so. And if something changes, great. If not, well, we'll be here for a little while longer. So, oh my gosh, it's been kind of a mess, to be honest, but I'm not complaining because I still get my same doctor. All of our benefits and everything that we have are staying the same, which is fantastic. This baby will be delivered at the same hospital. Everything will pretty much be the same. The only difference will be that, well, there are a couple of things, First of all, having a baby during a pandemic is very interesting and it makes me a little sad. I know that there's nothing that I can do about it, but unfortunately it does make things very difficult. So if you are in the same boat with me right now during this time trying to have a baby, it's a little scary, like I'm not gonna lie. So when I went to my appointment the other day, I had asked my doctor about visitors. I obviously was not planning on, having a lot of visitors around my newborn baby, but I was also curious about people visiting up until the baby was born because I have not seen my family, you guys, since February, since Eliana's birthday party. Her birthday party was in February because of how everything kind of fell, with weekends and everything. And then right before my family was planning on coming down, someone in our family actually tested positive for COVID. And so, they had all been around each other. And so because they had been exposed to that, they were not able to come down because they had to quarantine themselves, for a period of time. And now some of my family members are having to quarantine themselves again because somebody that they work with tested positive for COVID and they were around that person because now everyone's kind of back at work. And so it makes my heart so sad because I have not been able to see my family since February. So I'm really praying and hoping that I get to see them here in a couple of weeks because once I reach like the 36 to 37 week mark, I actually have to self-quarantine myself before I deliver this baby. And that was my recommendation from my doctor is that I go ahead and self-quarantine for at least 2 weeks before I go into labor because if for some reason I tested positive when I went to deliver my baby, she said that they take your baby away from you right away at the hospital where we are delivering. So I don't want that, obviously. I mean, for the safety of my baby, I would do whatever was necessary, but it like breaks my heart and it makes me so sad to even think about that. So the plan is to hopefully see my family now that everyone's kind of good to go. They haven't been exposed to other people for a while that had that. I am praying that I get to see them here in a couple of weeks, spend the weekend with them, let them see Eliana because they haven't seen her in so long, and then self-quarantine myself. And I think I'm gonna start at 36 weeks because I had her at 39, and something tells me this baby's gonna come a little bit earlier than her. Who knows? I don't know, but I am feeling so much pressure down below and that cervix pain so much earlier on. And my ligaments, I didn't mention this actually, I don't think I wrote it down. I feel like my ligaments are starting to loosen up a little bit and stretch like my body is preparing for labor. So I would not be surprised if he actually came earlier than what she did. And because my body has done this before now, my body just might know what to do and go into labor earlier. My body did everything on its own, start to finish with her at 39 weeks. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did really come early. So the recommendation, it sounds like from our hospital, is that there are no visitors, at least traveling visitors, within the first 8 weeks. And all of our family doesn't live here, so they would be traveling, not necessarily flying. So I need to clarify that with her. But basically what it comes down to is as a newborn baby, he's not going to have any type of immune system. Like right now, I could fight something off for him if need be, which of course I'm still being very, very protective. I hardly ever go anywhere. Eliana and I just hang out here at home and then we go to the pool occasionally. That's pretty much it. But that does make me really sad to think about, and I know that I'm not the only one going through that right now. I know that all mamas who are giving birth at this time are having to go through that same thing. And then of course, my sweet girl is not going to be able to be at the hospital with us, which I wouldn't want her to be anyway. I mean, if things weren't the way that they were, I obviously would want her to be there. But, it's completely understandable why only the spouse is able to be at the hospital. And so I am grateful that my husband will be able to be there, but I'm going to have to figure out what to do with her when I go into labor because we do have, some friends that could probably watch her, but they just had a baby. And, I'm just going to have to figure out what the plan is because originally we were going to have family come into town and watch her, which we might still do. It just depends. Like as we get closer, it's just such a hard decision because of the fact that they said, really, you probably won't want visitors for a while. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Or if you have recently gone through this, let me know what your experience was like because it's making me a little nervous as time kind of gets closer. So we'll just have to see how it goes. But I want to have like a few plans in place, which I do, but I want to have like plan A is this person, you know, plan B is this person, that kind of thing. So really quick, back to not moving. This room is actually going to be baby boy's nursery. So this is our guest room that I'm sitting in right now. And because we only have a 3-bedroom house, and we probably won't have guests here, at least for extended periods of time, like we might have had before. We are actually going to turn this room into his nursery, and then eventually our plan is to get a different sectional with a sleeper sofa for a while for guests. I know it's not ideal. We did think about moving into like a 4-bedroom house just to kind of give ourselves some more space. But again, with my husband's job stuff changing all the time, it didn't really make sense, because what if they call and say, hey, actually, you guys are moving, you know? So it just doesn't make sense for us to kind of move around. We're just gonna stay in this small house and make it work. So we're gonna use this room as a nursery. My sweet girl will keep her room, and then our bedroom will just remain as our room/office. And that's just how it's gonna be in this house. So you guys are about to get some nursery videos, which is so fun because I didn't think that I was gonna get to do that until after he was born and after we were settled into our new house. So I'm super excited about that. Also, I didn't show you guys earlier, but this week the baby is the size of a cabbage. Here's my Napa cabbage, a Napa cabbage, so he is big. He is about 17 inches long already, so yes. I completely forgot to show you guys that. That's kind of how I've been. I've been kind of like all over the place mentally, just kind of like bouncing around my thoughts and everything. And I also didn't share his development, but the coolest thing, I guess I'll just share with you the coolest thing that I think has been happening over this past month is that he can actually open his eyes and kind of look around in the womb now, which is so cool. He can also suck his thumb, and he's practicing like swallowing and breathing. So that is kind of where we're at with that. But my little one is waking up from her nap now. She is up now. So I'm gonna go grab her really quickly. I'm gonna hop over to my 32-week belly shot, and I will be right back. All right, so here's my belly from the front and the side. So you can see he's sitting a little bit lower than what my first little one did, if you watched my pregnancy updates with her. But I'm definitely feeling very heavy, especially down here. Eliana, look, can you say hi? Can you say hi to the camera? Hi. Say hi. Mama. Can I have a kiss? Aw, thank you. Book? You see some books? Come on, up. Hi, Chief. We'll just bring the whole family in here. Okay, lay down. Okay. All right, say we're gonna let you guys go, but thank you so much for watching, and we are excited to meet baby boy. I know that I said that I was gonna keep that short and sweet, but there was a lot to cover since it was a month-long update, wasn't it? Yes, yes. You have Napa cabbage on you. Oh, maybe that's broccoli from lunch. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Can you say bye? Say bye. Bye. Bye.